sticking to a routine, and that's why I've been loving Symbiotica. Symbiotica is one of the facts me look forward to hit the gym.
It's savory, it's
buried in Gail's grave for a decade.
We are, and if you have...
Hi, everyone. We're back. Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. And thanks for joining us. Kathy and I are so excited to be here.
We are. And if you haven't listened to our episode from Wednesday yet, you really need to check it out. We had our gorgeous and fabulous friend Joan from The Golden Bachelor on the podcast, and she was spilling a lot of tea.
And today we have some great fan questions, but I can't wait to get to those. However, let's talk about Joan for a minute. I mean, she was a great guest, wasn't she, Kathy?
I mean, how can anybody be so beautiful, so thin, love her family, cook, date? I don't know. It's concerning.
I know. And please don't forget, if you do have a question for Kathy and I, just send them in. Go to bachelornation.com/golden hour.
And if you're single and you're out there, send in your resume. We're interested.
DM us. Kathy,
right.
You want to do the topic of the day?
Let's start. Here we go. Susan, does cheating have to be a deal breaker? Is there ever a scenario when you can get past infidelity in a relationship?
Oh, God, I would struggle. Well, was I the cheater or he the cheater? No.
I think that answers the question, moving right along.
No, I think that's a tough one. And it would take a really strong person, two people, that would communicate well enough. And it depends on the circumstances. It's hard to forgive that, but forgiveness is the key to success, to happiness, to being okay with your own self. So you don't forget. I think maybe it would be a strain on the relationship, but if you really, really love each other and somebody screwed it up once, I mean, if it was an ongoing affair, that's a no-brainer, but I don't know. That's a tough one.
For me, I will tell you, in my 46 years of marriage, the one thing my husband and I said we could never get past would be cheating. So I think in the abstract, for me, cheating would be a deal breaker. But in reality, I think there are a lot of relationships that can be stronger after an episode of cheating. I agree with you. If it's a long-term affair, you're toast.
Right,
but
right.
I think reality often is different than, what we imagine the perfect scenario to be. And so I don't really know. I mean, I always said I would be gone, but I think sometimes things happen and it takes a big heart to forgive, and maybe you can.
It depends on the people, but on the two people, right?
I mean,
and how strong that love
could you
is.
trust, though? Could you trust again?
I would have a difficult time. I think I would. I'd be constantly checking So our first question of somebody actually did call in and left the question. So we're going to play that for everyone so they can hear it. And this question is from Jennifer. Let's listen.
Hi, this is Jennifer. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to ask you two a very important question. I am wondering how you feel about men after, let's say, 50s and up, how they handle women who are not perfect, as far as the wonderful cellulite and many other little things, or big things to some, such as not doing any type of Botox or injections, fillers, etc. How do you think men in their 50s, 60s, 70s feel about natural women who don't wear a lot of makeup either? And is it even possible to find love in your 50s, 60s, or 70s when it seems like so many men at that age are looking for women that just try to look much younger and perfect, versus someone that's natural and, I mean, not overweight or anything, but when it comes to cellulite and in general.
Wow.
First of all, I do think there's hope for 50s, 60s, and 70s. And there is nothing wrong with being el natural. I'm dead serious. Men appreciate that. We all have cellulite. I mean, I cheat. I get Botox. Doesn't look like it sometimes, but I do. Yeah, what do you think, Kathy?
I think there's a lot to unpack in this question.
Yeah.
I'd like to believe, I would really like to believe that men like natural, whatever that means, but my experience tells me something different. My experience tells me that men really want to have on their arm someone who looks young and vivacious and energetic, and they don't really care if they have fake boobs or dye their hair or have extensions or tattooed eyebrows and God knows what else. I too have had, by the way, is this the time to say no cheek implants? I've had Botox and fillers and all those things. I think that it's more about you, Jennifer, feeling your best. Mm-hmm. If you feel good doing things, whether it's filler, Botox, whatever it is, a facelift, I don't care. If you feel better, you should do it for yourself, but not because you're trying to attract a man. I think that's the difference for me. Mm-hmm. I think that some men, want younger. Some men don't.
Don't you think that some men go for younger because it's making them feel better? Look who I have. Yes. If you're not confident in yourself, and people that don't wear makeup, I know a lot of beautiful women out there that are very natural and don't.
Are they single?
I said women.
I know. I meant, do they have a man in their life, or are they like, or are they like, yeah, I don't have a boyfriend?
You know what? A little bit goes a long way, and a lot of men appreciate that. Not everybody likes a Barbie. You know what I mean?
I haven't met a guy yet who doesn't, but okay.
Well, they look at them, but do they want to marry them or be with them on a long-term thing? Because then you're high maintenance, right? I mean, I
don't know. I do think there's a variety of men out there. I think there are some men who like natural. And I think, I hate to admit it, Susan, but I do think a lot of men like a younger looking woman. And, mm-hmm. For me, this gets into the whole thing of ageism. Mm-hmm. We don't want to say, I've said this to you before, when you look at a 35-year-old, do you ever say to her, wow, Susie Q, you look great for 35.
No.
We never say that. We say, wow, you're beautiful. But when you're 70, people say, wow, Kathy, you look great for 70. So, I think it's inbred. It's just inherent in our society. That's what people do. That's what it is. I don't like it, but that's what it is.
I mean, I go to the grocery store all the time without makeup, and I do. It is who I am. But if I'm going to a function or an affair or being on TV, of course you're going to make yourself up a little bit.
But does it make you feel better, or do you do it to attract other people?
No, it makes me feel better. I think I look better if I put a little lip gloss on or lashes or something. I feel better. So you feel better.
Mm-hmm. You feel better. Okay.
I'm not doing it to impress anybody else. To know me is to know that.
Okay. So, I think, Jennifer, you seem like you're struggling a little bit with being who you are. And I think, Susan, you and I would agree, be yourself. And whatever yourself is, if that's a complete makeover, do it. If it's, letting your underarm hair grow and not shaving your legs, do that. But just be comfortable with who you are.
Never, ever worry about cellulite. It's part of life. I mean, everybody's got
I don't have any
somewhere. Oh, whatever, Kathy. She's perfect. I forgot.
Snag a Job is where America goes to hire, with the deepest talent pool in hourly hiring. With access to over 6 million active hourly workers, Snag a Job is the all-in-one solution for hiring high-quality employees who can cover, right?
people by the end of. If your identity.
eBay Motors es tu socio seguro. Puedes y a estos precios, quemas llantas y no te
Always have me laughing.
Number 2.
Let's go to number 2. Oh,
en eBay Motors. ebaymotors.com. Solo para artículos.
after being together almost 3 years. Susan and Kathy, I love listening to you.
How
All
about
right,
question number 2?
Let's go to number 2. Oh, Joey sent this one to us.
Okay.
Oh, Joey. Okay. Hi, Susan and Kathy. I love listening to your podcast while working out at the gym. You always have me laughing. My question is this. I recently found out my boyfriend cheated on me after being together almost 3 years. He didn't go any farther than kissing, but retained feelings for this other person. I still love him, but it's hard to trust him now. We've been trying to work things out, but this is something that can be hard to forget. Is it really true? Once a cheater, always a cheater? Or can something like this be a one-time mistake?
Ooh, where we go for society again, they say once a cheater, always a cheater. But I don't believe that. I think people do make mistakes. I do. Everybody's capable of screwing it up just once. But like I said last time, it depends on how genuine he is when he comes to you. First of all, if he told you himself without you finding out, or he's heartily sorry. I don't know. Why are you asking me that, Joey?
Joey, we love you. Here's the thing, Joey. It's not about what we think. It's really about what you think.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble trusting him now, that's probably going to go forward in your relationship, and that's going to be tough because Susan and I can both attest, if you can't trust your partner, you've got nothing. So I would encourage you to talk to your partner, see if you can develop that trust again. It's going to take some time. It can be rebuilt, but you're really going to have to want it.
Yeah. I'd like you better when you're laughing.
Yeah, really.
Okay. Hi, Susan and Kathy. My name is Courtney. I'm 24 years old, and I started dating my boyfriend a year ago. He is such a kind and genuine person, and we are both each other's first relationships. My sister is 26 years old, and she's never been in a relationship. I've noticed some jealousy because of this. Okay, she doesn't want to get to know my boyfriend and seems annoyed when I mention him. She's had a tough time dating, and I know the older she gets, she's scared she won't find someone. Do you have any advice for her on how to go about finding a boyfriend for the first time? And could you offer any advice on how to not let this affect our relationship? Thank you.
You want to go?
I got to think about this one.
Well, for me, Courtney, number one, congrats on your relationship.
Yeah.
Number two, your sister is not your responsibility. She will find her happiness or not in her time and in her own way. She can get on dating apps. She can go to the gym. She can take a sailing class, a cooking class. But you're not responsible for her life. And I think you have to accept that for starters.
I think that maybe she's annoyed because the attention's not so much on her anymore. So what about like inviting her along on one of your dates?
Oh, no.
Take her with you when you go do something fun. There's nothing wrong with that. And have her get to know your guy, and she might really like him. And,
Susan,
and
do you like being a third wheel? Do you like being a third?
With my sibling, I'd take her. I would. And I would want to prove to her that he's a cool guy and he likes you too. Not in that way, but let's do something together.
I want to paint a picture for you, Susan. You're sitting at a table. You're sitting there with your boyfriend, having a good time. Your sister's across the table. She's got nobody across from her. She's got an empty chair. How do you think she's feeling?
Because we're all going to talk. We're not going to talk about serious, mushy stuff. We're going to say something light and, make her feel welcome and a part of it.
I think it's natural that she feels jealous, but I think you just have to live your life. It's hard. I think you should reach out to Susan because she lives in Philly, and she'll find your sister a boyfriend in no time flat.
Or better yet, does your boyfriend have friends that we could introduce her to somebody? I mean,
How about a dating app?
Ways. Yeah.
A dating app. Take a class.
Don't be mad at her.
Don't be mad. And you know what? Just give it some time, Courtney, and hopefully your sister will find someone. Truthfully, as we sit here, you're both really young and you have lots of years ahead of you. Give her some time to grow and mature. She's probably going to find a guy next month, and this question's all going to be a moot point.
And you won't be anything. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
we did skip over a question because it's not a question.
Okay. It's not really a question. It's a relationship question. But Jenna sent us this. How did being on the Golden Bachelor impact you? If you were asked to be the Golden Bachelorette, would you accept? Go, Susan.
How did it impact me? I made friends, and that meant so much to me. However, I went there to find love. I became friends with Gary, and that's all either one of us wanted. The Golden Bachelorette, I've always said, oh, yes, of course. But you know what? I'd be afraid that what if I didn't connect with all 20 of them? Then what would happen?
I'm sorry. What would happen if you did connect with all 20 of them?
Oh, I'd be in a lot of trouble. But I'd be taking numbers in case it didn't work out. No. I've always had that fear. Like, what if that were me? I used to feel sorry for Gary. Like, he had to let people go and he felt so bad. And we all know he cried a bit. And I was always there for him. Like, oh, Gary, I got you. It's okay. You have to do this process.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I think it impacted me differently. I think that it was a show, and I think some people read me differently than who I am. And, you know, people have always really liked me. And so I was surprised. People think I'm funny and they like me and they know I'll give you the shirt off my back.
You are funny.
Thank you. But so that was hard for me to see that people took what they saw on the show and said, oh, she's a mean girl, because I'm really not, and you know that. Yes. So I think that was an impact for me. But also, I've always been a pretty confident person. I think being on that show, Susan, made me even more confident. It made me know what I want for this last chapter of my life.
Touche, my friend.
Yep. Not going to settle. I mean, the friendships, you and I, for anyone who's wondering, we really are good friends.
Yes.
And that's the most valuable gift I got from the show, is having you as my friend. So that's really the impact for me. Would I be the Golden Bachelorette? I've said this a gazillion times. I don't think they could find 22 guys to keep up with me.
I know. Either one of us with our big personalities.
You know what, Susan?
You guys that do apply, if you don't get called, like, just send us a DM and maybe, we'll check it out.
Wait, I have a question. Do you really think, Susan, guys, Bachelor Nation, in case you haven't figured it out yet, Susan and I both have really big personalities. And, a lot of you ask, how can you be such good friends? Because we both are kind people. We love each other. We love other people. But we are both big personalities. Do you think guys really want big personalities?
I think I always been told I intimidate people because I am sure of myself, and I'm out there, I'm friendly, I'm flirty, but I'm a good girl, I'm loyal. And people judge you for being such a big personality sometimes, so that's sad.
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
And on the show, I feel as if you need more time to get to know somebody. So your first impression of me is like crazy, but if you got to know me, I'm lovable.
Yep. I think that is such a valid point. You and I are both, even though maybe people wouldn't see it, we are both sensitive. We're both caring people. But on the show, there's just not really enough time. So people who think, oh, you're both so loud, or you're this, or you're mean, they didn't really see who we really are. So those...
But imagine, Kathy, if we went on that show and that was our person. Like, that happens. That's what I always wish for any of us.
You mean if he had been our person?
Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, if he had been our person, like that does happen.
I would have walked on you, Susan, together.
I'll fight you for him.
I'm stronger.
Hey, people out there, if you have a question for us, we really do want to hear it. All you have to do is go to bachelornation.com/golden hour. And I can't wait till somebody's actually featured on here. And you know what I mean? Like a stranger that's asking us a question. And you won't be a stranger anymore. You become our friend.
Our friend.
Snag a Job is where America goes to hire. With post and fill available.
Trabajo, piezas nuevas y mucha en vivo ese espíritu de Ride or Die.
Millions of people have made the switch to Knix.com for the Knix anniversary sale. Hurry.
Cut off another car. To read the quandary and
Knix.com. That's KNIX.com.
All right. Before we go, we've got to play another round of moral quandary. I love this game.
Boy.
I'm going to read the quandary, and then we each have to guess what each other will do in that situation. Okay, so you're going to guess what I do. I'm going to guess what you do.
Okay.
All right. You're late for a job interview and cut off another car to merge onto the freeway. This is you, Susan.
I know.
The driver flipped you off. When you get to the interview, you quickly realize the person interviewing you was the man who flipped you off. Do you say anything?
I run up to him and say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was late for this. Oh, please forgive me. Please forgive me." But when that does happen and I do gonna go fast on the highway and somebody flips me off, I give him the peace sign or say, "I'm so sorry."
Do you know what I do? I grew up in Boston. I'm a Boston driver. I can cut off the driver with the best of them. But you know what I do when they yell at me? I roll down the window, I smile at the stoplight and say, "Have a nice day."
No.
But I got to say, if I were in a job interview, you know what I would do? Play completely dumb and pretend, because it would just embarrass him. He flipped you off, right?
Because you cut him off.
Yeah, but the driver flips you off. You're going to go up and apologize and say,
"Oh, absolutely.
Hey, jerk, you flipped me off. I'm sorry." No, you're not.
No, I would apologize.
I'm going to play dumb.
Yeah, no, I would apologize. Say, please don't do that, because people get killed for doing that. That's
and
road
you know
rage.
what, Susan? Can I just tell you, I'm the next interviewer and I get the job, not you.
All righty. Okay, Kathy, your best friend starts dating someone they are crazy about. They can't wait for you to meet them. When you finally do, you realize it's someone you made out with once at a party, but years ago. You doubt he even remembers. Do you say anything to your best friend?
If it were you?
No. Well,
if it were you, I would say, I would say, "Oh my gosh, I kissed this guy when I was 16. I sure hope to hell he's learned something." Yes, I would say.
You know what? Because of the words years ago, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, why not? I mean, I would not say it and then have the guy tell her, "Oh my gosh, your friend, we made out in, 12th grade."
I'm sorry. If you made out with the guy when you were 16.
That doesn't count.
Even if it counts, you're 60 years old, really? I mean, first of all, I wouldn't even remember it. But secondly, come on. If you can't get over that, how are you going to have a relationship? By the way, Susan, the guy you're dating, I made out with him several years ago.
How was it?
He sucked.
I'm glad they didn't have a name to that, because I'd be calling this girl going, "Really?" Okay.
All right, here's the next one. Your daughter announces out of nowhere that she's in a throuple. And that's like a threesome.
Okay,
and
I was just going to say, what's a throuple?
It's not nipple, it's throuple. And she would like to bring both her boyfriend and girlfriend to Thanksgiving dinner. Do you say okay?
I'm going to say, are you sure they're okay with each other? I mean, more the merrier.
Really? You're going to say that?
As long as the three of them are okay, why not?
Well,
I'm not there to decide for her who's who.
What about if your other kids don't know?
Well, they're not going to.
What are you going to say? This is my friend
at
Sue?
the table.
How do you know?
Oh, is that what a throuple is?
I'm just saying. Can
I'd
you
say,
imagine?
honey, you need to make up your mind.
Okay, here's how this is going to roll, Susan. They're all
Wait,
at
let me guess.
Thanksgiving.
Let me get what Kathy will say. None of you are coming.
I'm saying I'm not cooking. Remember me?
There she goes again with the cooking.
Here's how it rolls. You walk in, you go, John, here's my daughter, Louise, and her friend, Joan. I'm not really sure how they're rolling, but I mean, come on in and sit down and have turkey. Really? You're going to do that? I don't think so.
She doesn't know what she wants, the woman or the man. So leave her alone and let her have Thanksgiving.
Susan,
I'm
bringing them.
Kathy,
I'm bringing them all to your dinner.
I want to know who wrote these questions.
I'm telling you. I'm bringing them all to your house next Thanksgiving. We're going to see how you roll with that.
I'll extend the table into the next room. We'll fit them all.
You know what Susan's going to be doing? Let me tell y'all. I want to tell you, when I was at Susan's house, she had lots of friends for dinner. Speaking of, she made the best meal. I swear, I am sitting enjoying this meal. Yeah, she knows what's coming. Literally, she's done. She gets up with the dustpan and broom, and then in a vacuum cleaner, and literally is vacuuming.
No, I didn't have the vacuum cleaner out before the dishes were done. I'm a neat freak, people. I'm a neat freak.
No, she is literally, Kathy, lift your feet so I can sweep. Can I please have my last bite of mashed potatoes, please? No, I have to clean, she says. So, we'll see how you do.
You could have as much as you want.
Yeah, we'll see how you do with a throuple. You can't even handle a dustpan and broom for 5 minutes.
Honestly, I didn't know what a throuple was. Now I do. You learn something new every day.
Okay. Okay. Well, this does it for this episode. I'm gonna go. God. I'm gonna go get my throuple together to go to Thanksgiving dinner at Susan's house next year.
And I got my broom,
and she's got her broom ready. All right, Susan. We have one last question here. Okay. Hey, Kathy and Susan. My name is Cassandra. I'm so obsessed with your podcast. You guys are amazing. Thanks, Cassandra.
Yay. I'm glad you like us. We like you too.
I have a question about marriage. So, I've been living with my partner for almost 3 years now. I'm 27, he's 29, and things are awesome between us. We really get each other and have a great balance of closeness, but giving each other space and enjoying our space. I'm not in a rush to get married or anything, but I can totally see it happening someday. My boyfriend is super chill and has a great family. I, on the other hand, had a rough childhood. Therapy helped me deal with most of it, but recently I've been thinking. I grew up surrounded by only women, so I've never really seen a relationship up close. So, what does a marriage, a very long-term relationship, look like? How often do married couples talk on a daily basis? And what do you think are the big things to think about before tying the knot? Whew.
Okay, I know right off the bat here.
Go.
It's about you two. It's not about where you came from. You mentioned earlier how perfect your relationship was. Once again, our 3 C's. Communicate, babe. Keep on talking to them, and you should talk every day. Maybe somebody's got a headache or not in the mood or had a bad day. That's okay. But share what you're feeling, share what you're thinking. And if you guys are best friends now, nothing's going to change. Just be honest and open with each other. And make sure you have spontaneous sex.
Oh, geez. It's always down to sex with you. So, Cassandra, this question kind of hits home for me. I was married a long, long time. I also came from a pretty rotten, rough childhood. And I will tell you that people used to say to me, oh, you can't possibly have a good marriage or a good family life because you grew up in such a dysfunctional childhood. I'm here to tell you, you can have a great long-term relationship. What does it look like? It looks like loving and caring for someone, listening to them, listening to each other, caring for each other, compromising with each other. And the very fact that you wrote this question tells us you're already on your way to having a great relationship. So don't worry about it. I think you're already thinking about the big things. And I wish you, Cassandra, and your partner only the best and the best of a marriage and or a long-term relationship. I think you've got it all going on. And I'm so happy that you found your perfect partner.
I am really excited for you. You've got this, girl. Enjoy
and by the way,
moment.
Wait, can I say, Susan? If they want to get married, I happen to know a really good wedding officiant.
I'm here for you.
The Susan Knowles. What is your wedding?
Nuptials by Knowles.
There you go. Can I just tell you, she officiated my son's wedding, a couple of months ago. She does a fabulous job. So reach out to her if you want to get married. She will make it the most memorable wedding you've ever seen.
Thank you, Kathy. I love doing it. I do. I love love.
We both love love. And you know what? I love seeing Cassandra write this question because it tells me that you don't have to be a product of your, childhood if it was tough. You can learn from your parents' mistakes. You can build a great, strong relationship. And that gives me hope for a future.
And something you just said triggered something. Sometimes don't worry too much about it because it'll make you not be you. And he'll be like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you keep going on the negatives? I don't want anything to happen to us. Stay positive. Enjoy this moment. We don't know the future.
Yeah.
Believe it's going to be perfect, and it will.
Yep. Well, it won't be perfect, Susan, but it'll be great. Believe in yourselves, guys. Believe in your relationship, and it'll go well.
And enjoy it. Thank you so much for rating.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I'm glad you bared with us for these questions. And be sure to subscribe. I can't talk anymore. As we have new episodes coming out every week that you won't want to miss.
And make sure you submit your questions to us. Go to bachelornation.com/golden hour to send them in because, as you can see, we love answering your questions.
It's so much fun. Listen to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Have a great week.
Ciao for now.